I want to have a conversation about what authenticity is really. Likely, you have heard me mention the word authenticity many, many times if you have taken a course with me or you have studied with me, as it is the crux of synergetic play therapy in many ways. And it's one of the goals that we work towards in ourselves and also with our child clients. But I want to take the conversation a little bit deeper. What is it, and what does it really take to really tap into authenticity? So there's multiple layers to be able to answer this question. The place that I want to start has to do with really our own internal struggle to discover what is most meaningful for us. So, as we grow up, as we are immersed in the culture around us, in the school systems, in the belief systems, we are surrounded by messages about who we should be and how we should be. And this is actually a very necessary part of development, which may sound a little weird for me to say that. Why, Lisa, would this be necessary? It doesn't feel good to be told that you should be different. And I want to give you the visual or the analogy of a pearl. The pearl does not become the pearl without the friction from the sand and the pressure inside of the shell. So I want you to think about that the journey of accessing and discovering our authenticity is actually the friction and working our way and bumping up against all the messages that we have been indoctrinated with and that we hear on a regular basis about who we should be. If we didn't have the pressure, we wouldn't be able to refine something quite magical that's trying to develop from within. So I want us to understand that the journey towards authenticity and the discovering what is authenticity for us really actually is a journey, and it does require friction, and it does require the feeling of getting lost along the way. It does require the ongoing internal questioning of who am I? Who am I really? Is that true for me? Who am I subordinating to? Why am I giving authority to you or to someone else? And it is precisely that friction that is able to awaken something quite profound inside of us. So that's the journey towards authenticity. But the deeper question is, but how do I know if I'm really being authentic in any given moment? And this comes back to finding our own internal center point. So, what do I mean by that? Well, if I am in a moment, I am exaggerating myself about something, I'm not actually being authentic. If in a moment I'm minimizing myself around something, I'm not actually being authentic because I either have myself puffed up or I have myself in the pit. And authenticity does not arise when we are puffed up, and authenticity does not arise when we are in the pit because neither one of those personas are actually the truth of who we are. So I'm going to invite you to take a breath because that's an interesting compass for us to really recognize inside, where am I being true and real? Am I exaggerating myself? Am I feeling prideful about something? Am I feeling like I'm amazing at something? If we're going above equilibrium from our own center point, there's a chance that we're actually not embodying authenticity. Same thing as I just said, if I'm also minimizing myself and I'm not good at anything and I don't do that well and so does it better, well, I'm also not being authentic because that's not the truth of me either. So authenticity emerges when we are in our center point about who we actually are, what our capabilities are, where we still have work to do. It's about like looking in the mirror and having a very real reality check about, I'm great at this, I'm not so great at this. Even the things that I'm great at, I still have a learning curve around them. The things that I'm struggling with, well, look how far I've come. And really being able to see ourselves in a balanced perspective. Now, the other part of what is authenticity really is to recognize that this that I'm talking about has the highest probability of emerging when we are giving ourselves permission to do what it is that we love to do. We are all driven and inspired by something from within. And when we're able to access that and get clear about what that is. So for me, it's teaching and being a mom and building businesses and traveling. And those things in my world are very connected to what gives me meaning and purpose. So when I'm engaged in those, I have the highest probability of seeing myself clearly. And this is true for you too. When you are engaged in the things that you love doing more than anything, you have the highest probability of seeing yourself clearly. You have the highest probability of having a balanced orientation on yourself. Again, not puffed up and not in the pit. So when we talk about what is authenticity, really, we're really talking about an alignment between how we live our lives congruently with what my time is spent on, what my energy is spent on, and how those are most aligned with what I most love doing in this world. And also my own perception and orientation to myself. And when we bring both of those together, what emerges is the pearl. What emerges is the shiny part in that says, yes, this is me. This feels like me. I am an individual on a path with a purpose that experiences support and challenge, that is able to recognize that I'm not all this, and I'm not all that. So I'm going to invite another breath in, and really encourage you to think about the message in this video and to really look at appreciating the friction in your life that's trying to give rise to the pearl, but also to look at your own perception of yourself and your own ways where you are aligning your life with what's most important to you or not.